Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Okay, so today I want to talk about something which I think is pretty interesting, and it relates to the British screenwriter Troy Kennedy Martin. If you like, this is going to be a belated tribute because he actually passed away in 2009. But yeah, this is a screenwriter who, when it comes to his film career, because he did a lot of TV as well, but his film career starts in 1969 with a Lamborghini and it finishes in 2023 with a Ferrari. I find that quite fascinating. So that starting point in film came in 1969 with The Italian Job, starring Michael Caine and Noel Coward. Famous for its Mini Coopers, but it actually starts with a Lamborghini Miura in the first scenes, beautifully filmed by the great cinematographer Douglas Slocum, who also worked on the Indiana Jones trilogy. But yeah, quite a fascinating beginning this, because it was actually Troy Kennedy Martin's brother who had developed the script initially, but he had set the whole film in London at a time when computerized traffic light systems were just being introduced, and he thought it would make a good subject for developing a kind of heist drama. But there wasn't really the budget for that kind of thing in the UK, so his brother, Troy Kennedy Martin, saw the idea in developing a film for this, and so he bought the script off his brother and relocated the drama to Turin in Italy. And so that's why we have The Italian Job. Now, he was quite an advocate of making sure that this stayed a British caper, and so they used Mini Coopers throughout this great heist thriller. But there was a lot of keenness for Italians to be able to use their cars like Fiats and Ferraris, but Troy Kennedy Martin resisted that, and so we have those very famous sequences involving the Mini Coopers. But I'm sure that his experience of being in Italy for this film and getting the cooperation of, it seems, the mafia at times, as well as the car industries, that must have put him in good stead and interest in Ferrari, because, like I say, his final film, which was actually released some 14 years after his death, is Michael Mann's Ferrari, which was released in 2023. So I just find that really fascinating. Now, just going back a bit, I mean, certainly, yeah, his career started in TV, and famously, he was involved in developing the series Z Cars, which was a sort of police drama set in the north of England, which ran for almost 700 episodes between 1962 and 1978. So he developed the format for that and wrote some of the scripts for that. And then his brother, Ian Kennedy Martin, was also responsible for developing and creating The Sweeney, and Troy Kennedy Martin also worked on this as well. So this was a really hard-hitting police investigative drama series that came out in the 70s with John Thor and Dennis Waterman. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, Italian Job then in 1969 was his first actual film script, and then he followed that up in 1970 with Kelly's Heroes. So a really terrific comedic war action adventure that stars Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas, Donald Sutherland and Don Rickles. And this one is directed by Brian G. Hutton, who had also directed Clint Eastwood just previously in Where Eagles Dare. Now, Clint Eastwood actually was hoping that his friend Don Siegel would be directing this, and so he kind of lost interest a bit when Don Siegel couldn't do it, and that kind of shows in the film. Really, Clint Eastwood is kind of coasting through this film, and it's his co-stars, Telly Savalas, and perhaps in particular Donald Sutherland, who really have the high point moments in this. Donald Sutherland is really terrific, playing this oddball, a tank commander who's really quite a hippie. And there's a great moment in this film when Telly Savalas confronts him just lying on the grass whilst his tank is in disrepair. And he just confronts him and asks him, what's going on? What is he doing? And Donald Sutherland just lies back and goes, "Oh, I'm drinking some wine, eating some cheese, catching some rays." And Telly Savalas continues, "Well, what's going on with your tank? Why aren't you helping with that?" And he just replies, "Hey, I just ride them. I don't know how to fix them." But yeah, it's just a really fun moment. But yeah, terrific, good, fun action adventure. This one, Kelly's Heroes. Some good comedic moments in the script, as well as all the action and adventure as well. So after Kelly's Heroes, Troy Kennedy Martin was really back to TV writing again, including all that writing on The Sweeney, and he actually was involved as well in Sweeney 2, the movie, which came out in 1978. Now, I was just a kid when I saw this, very young, and this was probably the most violent thing I had seen at that time, and also involved lots of nudity as well. So, yeah, very, very memorable for me when I was probably only about 8 or 9 when I saw it. Maybe slightly older, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, very, very memorable. In 1983, he did a terrific spy series that was called Riley, Ace of Spies, starring Sam Neill. I really enjoyed that one. I don't remember it very well now, but yeah, I'd love to see that again. But then in 1985 came an absolute classic of British TV, and it was Edge of Darkness, starring Bob Peck and Joanne Whalley-Kilmer. And Joe Don Baker. And really at the time this came out, it was really quite extraordinary stuff. It was really, really gripping. It involves a police inspector whose daughter, an environmental activist, gets shot dead, and it's quite a shocking murder, and he then investigates, and it all ends up in this sort of really intriguing conspiracy that's involving nuclear waste and dumping, government cover-ups and conspiracies, the CIA, lots of different webs of intrigue going on in this. Bob Peck's performance in this is absolutely astonishing. For many people, they'll perhaps know Bob Peck better, I suppose, for being the hunter in Jurassic Park. So remember him between those two velociraptors. Clever girl. That's Bob Peck. But yeah, this was absolutely astonishing when it came out in 1985. Watched it again just the other day. It's still really, really powerful. Bob Peck's performance is just really, really incredible. Also, at the time when this came on TV, it was really quite groundbreaking for the type of cinematic score that it was using, which was written by Eric Clapton and Michael Kamen. And Hollywood was so impressed by that they then used Michael Kamen and Eric Clapton to write the score for the Lethal Weapon movies in 1987. And the director of this was Martin Campbell. Martin Campbell had also worked with Troy Kennedy Martin on Riley, Ace of Spies. And then a lot of people will know Martin Campbell for later on directing several of the Bond movies, including GoldenEye and Casino Royale, as well as The Legend of Zorro. Now, Edge of Darkness did get the Hollywood treatment in 2010, starring Mel Gibson, but this really is a different kind of beast. I mean, the Edge of Darkness series was some 6 hours long. This is a 2-hour movie, and it really just plays much more like a more straightforward revenge thriller, if you like. Now, the script on this one was done by William Monahan, who is famous for doing the script on The Departed, and Dennis Bovell, who had scripted the really excellent Australian movie Lantana. But yeah, I would say that the Mel Gibson film is nowhere near as interesting or intriguing as the great British TV series. So if you get a chance to see the original, definitely do it. And then quite bizarrely, after his great TV success with Edge of Darkness, the next movie that Troy Kennedy Martin was involved in was Walter Hill's Red Heat, which came out in 1988. But I'll gloss over this one because really the story and script is by Walter Hill on this. And there's one other scriptwriter as well, and Troy Kennedy Martin is a third scriptwriter. So not a huge amount of involvement on this one, but yeah, interesting that he should go from Edge of Darkness to Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi. In 1999, he's involved in the script for Bravo 20, adapted from the novel by the best-selling Andy McNabb. So Andy McNabb, an SAS officer here, played by Sean Bean, and he has an 8-man crew that goes behind enemy lines during the Gulf War to try and track down and destroy Scud missiles being used by Saddam Hussein's army. But it becomes a survival mission after they're spotted, with several of the crew getting captured and tortured. So yeah, quite a hard-hitting one, this. Like I say, a little bit economical with the truth, probably, but still, this was quite a big movie when it came out. Then in 2004, he writes the script for this one, Red Dust, adapted from a South African novelist Gillian Slovo's novel. And this one stars Chiwetel Ejiofor and Hilary Swank. This was the same year that Hilary Swank won her Oscar in Clint Eastwood's $1 Million Baby. This film really far less known than that one. So yeah, interesting one this. This one concerns itself with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that was set up after apartheid had ended. And this was a commission which enabled sort of victims of torture and human rights violations to come forward and give statements about what happened to them. But it also gave the opportunity for perpetrators of the violence to claim amnesty as long as they told the truth about what they did. So a really interesting kind of story this. It actually stars Jamie Bartlett as a police officer in this. Jamie Bartlett had also been in Bravo 20. So he's the one that claims amnesty in this, and it becomes quite an intriguing drama because Chiwetel Ejiofor is a sort of political representative who then has to, if you like, recall past events that he had buried in his memory. So a lot of trauma and horrible memories that he underwent. But it also becomes a bit of a dramatic thriller about uncovering what happened to someone else who went missing. So Hilary Swank plays the sort of lawyer in this one, representing Chiwetel Ejiofor's character. Yeah, really intriguing kind of drama, this one. Also around that time, The Italian Job also got a Hollywood reworking, but yeah, Troy Kennedy Martin's script really got pushed aside by that one for a new script that was written by Wayne and Donna Powers, perhaps best known for writing the script of Deep Blue Sea. So yeah, different kind of movie starring Mark Wahlberg and Charlize Theron. I know a lot of people enjoy that one, which is fair enough, but yeah, for me, I'll stick with the 1969 original. And then finally, we have Troy Kennedy Martin's final script, which is for Ferrari. So like I say, Troy Kennedy Martin passed away in 2009. Michael Mann had the project for this one, and it was a long gestating one. And so his film did not actually come out until 2023, some 14 years after Troy Kennedy Martin's passing. Troy Kennedy Martin still gets the script credit on this, although it's perhaps a little bit uncertain as to what kind of touch-ups or amendments to it Michael Mann may have made. But for sure, this movie was not perhaps what a lot of people were expecting when it came out. It's quite a bleak kind of drama, which actually isn't too far removed from some of other Troy Kennedy Martin scripts, where he deals with difficult characters going through difficult situations and trauma and things of that nature. So this is a movie that's set at a key time in Enzo Ferrari's life in 1957, when he's got various kind of family issues that are going on, quite intense ones. He's got financial pressures that are facing him, and then there's the prospect of putting his Ferraris into the 1,000-mile Mille Miglia race. And this was an event that was to end, unfortunately, in a very devastating tragedy. So yeah, it's a really fascinating look at a particular period of time, not a formal biopic at all. Yeah, great performances from Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz in this one. Fantastic cinematography. And great direction, as can be expected from Michael Mann. So yeah, this one perhaps has been a little bit underappreciated at the moment, but it's a really, really terrific film. So now viewers of my channel may know from previous videos that I have championed the films of director John Guillermin, and now I'm about to reference another one. Why, you may ask, how on earth could that link with Ferrari? Well, I'll tell you. So Ferrari's drivers included one driver named Alfonso de Portago. So he took part in the Mille Miglia race, and before he drove off, he was kissed by an actress and model, Linda Christian. And it's quite a famous kiss. Now, Linda Christian, at that time, she had broken up from her relationship with Tyrone Power. She was an actress, actually the first Bond girl, because she had featured in a TV episode of Casino Royale in 1954. But she had starred in 1956, so 1 year before the Mille Miglia race, in John Guillemin's film Thunderstorm, which is a terrific film, underappreciated, underseen. I really hope this one can get some kind of Blu-ray release. So she plays a sort of siren in this movie who attracts the attention of various fishermen who start fighting over her. But yeah, it's a really terrific little film from John Guillemin. Anyway, that's my link there. Quite interesting stuff, I think. But yeah, overall, I think the career of Troy Kennedy-Martin is a really fascinating one. He did such great work on British TV, and then we have all these varied kind of film scripts. So quite comedic to start off with the likes of The Italian Job and Kelly's Heroes, and then we get these kind of really intense dramas as well that included Red Dust and the final film Ferrari. But yes, if we go back to Michael Caine's biography, Blowing the Bloody Doors Off, and that perhaps sums things up very well, because certainly the line, "You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off," must be one of the most famous lines in film, and that comes, of course, from The Italian Job. So there you go. That's just a summary of some of the films of screenwriter Troy Kennedy-Martin, a great TV screenwriter as well as film screenwriter. Let me know your comments on those, particularly if you've seen any of those movies and the TV work, such as Edge of Darkness. What a terrific drama series that was. But yeah, please join me again for some more videos. Please like and subscribe. I hope to see you again. All the best to you. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.